This video, we're going to go through the carbohydrate list, so either grab your carbohydrate list or follow along with me. Hi everyone, I'm Roberta. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and I'm going to help you lose weight. If you were with me at the last video, you know that the carbohydrate cubes behind me are set up for a 1200 calorie eating plan. At each meal, at 3 meals, each meal you do not want to go over 30 grams of carbohydrate, and for a snack, either one 30 carb snack, or you can separate it into 2 15-gram snacks. If we put another cube on top, but the snack column, that stays the same, but one more cube on top, that gives us the carbohydrate limit for a 1500 calorie eating plan. At each meal, do not exceed 45 grams of carbs. With the meal, of course, you're going to have your protein and your vegetable, but please be mindful of your carbohydrates. The reason why each cube has 15 grams of carbs on it is because it correlates to the carbohydrate food list. Each amount of food on the list gives us that standard 15 grams of carbs. You can eat all your carbohydrates from one food if you want, or you can pick 15-gram amounts of different foods. You can get this food list by downloading it from the information below. When you download it, you'll see that it's a download for planning healthy meals, and the carbohydrate food list is on page 7. This video, we're going to go through the carbohydrate list. So either grab your carbohydrate list or follow along with me. Milk is actually listed on the carbohydrate list. A lot of people don't realize milk is a combination food, both carbohydrate and protein. So if you're counting your carbohydrates, you do have to be mindful of the carbs in milk. Almond milk, however, if it's unsweetened almond milk, doesn't have but 1 gram of carbs, so you don't have to worry about that. So when it comes to the milk in general, 1 cup of soy milk or cow's milk, 1 cup is something that we would count as 15 grams of carbs. Literally it's about 12 grams of carbs, but I think it's so much easier to round up and think, you know, it's about 15 grams of carbs. That's what I do anyway. Now, bread. Ask yourself if you eat any of these things. A bagel, 1/4 of a bagel is 15 grams of carbs. I have a question for you. If 1/4 of a bagel is 15 grams of carbs, then how much of the bagel do you get to eat for 30 grams of carbs? So if you're having breakfast and you're following a 1200 calorie eating plan, how much of the bagel can you have if you have to keep the breakfast to no more than 30 grams of carbs? If 1/4 of the bagel is 15 grams of carbs, then you're right, no more than 1/2 of a bagel. And then the rest of your food would be coming from protein and vegetable. Remember our plate method: protein, vegetable, be mindful of your carbs. That's how I keep track of my meals. I always ask myself first, where's my protein? Have an abundance of non-starchy vegetables, could be raw, could be cooked, combination of, but then be mindful of how many carbohydrates I'm consuming. So be mindful of how many carbohydrates you're consuming. It's like the easiest way to lose weight and keep it off. So what else is on our carbohydrate list? Bread. If it's reduced calorie, 2 slices gives you that standard 15 grams of carbs. But if it's just regular white, whole grain, pumpernickel rye, 1 slice gives you 15 grams of carbs. If something has more fiber, that of course is better, but you don't have to eat high fiber all the time. Just be mindful of your carbohydrates. English muffin. I have a question for you. If half of an English muffin, as it says right here, half of an English muffin is 15 grams of carbs, because everything on this list is 15 grams of carbs. If half an English muffin is 15 grams of carbs, then how many carbs is a whole English muffin? half an English muffin, half an English muffin, whole thing, 30 carbs. If you read the food label for the product, that's going to give you a more precise number. But these are nice general amounts that help us understand better portion sizes. Hot dog or hamburger bun, half. So the top half of the bun is 15 carbs, then the bottom half is 15 carbs. What do you put in a hamburger or hot dog bun? The protein, so you don't have to worry about that. Protein and vegetables, we're not concerned about that. Of course, we want lean protein. It's better for our heart. We're just right now focusing on keeping our carbohydrates in balance. Pancake, pita, roll, taco shells, tortilla, waffle. You can see the amounts there. So then it moves on to crackers and snacks. I'll leave you to look at that later for yourself. Cereals and grains. There are 3 things I want to highlight in the cereals and grains. The first is the second item down where it does say cereal, cooked oats, oatmeal, half a cup. So just know that half of a cup of cooked oatmeal, because it does say cooked, half of a cup of cooked oatmeal gives about 15 grams of carbohydrates. Also in that section we have pasta and we have rice. Can you eat pasta and rice? Of course you can eat pasta and rice, but it's the right amount that you want to eat. So what's the quantity that you see listed there? A 1/3 cup. And it is cooked. It says cooked, pasta cooked, a 1/3 cup, rice, white or brown cooked, a 1/3 cup. So every 1/3 cup that you measure out gives your body about 15 grams of carbohydrates. Starchy vegetables. Beans are another food that are combination protein and starch or carbohydrate. Remember, carbohydrate is made up of fiber, sugar, and starch. So beans are high in starch. That's why we see them here in the carbohydrate list. But beans also have protein. So beans are a combination food, protein and carbs. But what's the amount here? Half a cup. Every half cup beans is giving you about 15 grams of carbs. Corn, lentils, mixed vegetables, because mixed vegetables tend to have corn and peas. Remember, green peas, half a cup gives 15 grams of carbs. Potatoes. Has anyone told you that you shouldn't be eating potatoes? Well, the truth is, you can eat potatoes. Just make sure that you know that a 1/4 of a large potato is going to give you about 15 grams of carbs. If you had half of a large potato, say for dinner, remember a 1/4 of the large potato, another 1/4, that makes half of a large potato. That would use up your carbs if you're following a 1,200 calorie eating plan. So the rest of your food would naturally be the protein and the vegetables. But it's definitely okay to have potatoes and rice and pasta as long as they are in the correct amount. Sweet potato is in that column too. As you see, yam, sweet potato, half of a cup. That is equivalent to a 1/4 of a large potato. The sweet potato and the white potato have about the same amount of carbohydrate. Surprise, surprise, they have about the same amount of carbohydrate. The sweet potato has a little bit more fiber and more beta carotene, but the portion sizes are roughly the same. And the last column, fruit. Yes, fruit is a carbohydrate. I've met so many people who have told me that they thought they could eat as much fruit as they wanted. That is not true when it comes to losing weight. Although fruit is natural sugar, it's still sugar and it's still calories. Fruit is definitely a better choice than candy, but fruit still has calories, and too many calories and you will gain weight. Too many calories, it'll be hard to lose weight. So please keep in mind the proper portion sizes of fruit. Each amount of fruit that's listed here, again, gives your body 15 grams of carbohydrates. Let's see if you enjoy any of these fruits. Apple, applesauce, apricots, banana. As it says here for banana, half a banana. I try to buy small bananas so that I can just eat the whole thing. But if you are buying large bananas, just know that half of it is 15 grams of carbs. Blackberries, blueberries, cantaloupe, Cherries, dates, dried fruit. Wow, that amount for dried fruit is so small. 2 tablespoons is 15 grams of carbs. And when they say 2 tablespoons, it's level, it's not a mound, okay? Fruit juice, what's the amount that you see there for fruit juice? Again, every amount here gives us 15 grams of carbs. Yes, it says fruit juice, half of a cup. And that's not the biggest cup you can find, full halfway, because I've had a lot of people say that to me. No, it's actually a measuring cup, 4 ounces. You know, so get a measuring cup, and it says half cup, which is 4 ounces. That's what they're referring to. Grapefruit, half of a grapefruit. Grapes, 17 small grapes. Honeydew melon, kiwi, mango. Oh, we get a lot of weight gain during mango season because half a cup, 4 ounces. Remember, measuring cup, not the biggest cup you can find and fill it halfway. Nectarine, orange, papaya, peach, pear, pineapple, plums, prunes, raspberries, strawberries, tangerines, watermelon. You know, they say 1 slice or 1 1/4 cups. Obviously, we can cut a pretty huge slice, so don't use that measurement. Use the 1 1/4 cups, and then you'll properly see how much watermelon gives you 15 grams of carbs. A lot of people print this out, put it on their refrigerator. I think that's a great idea because those who do that usually are the most successful. So during this week, try to keep your carbohydrates to the limit that you figured out for yourself. If you determine that 1,200 calories is what you should be following, remember that each meal should not go over 30 grams of carbs. If you don't eat all of your carbohydrates at one meal, that's fine. You don't have to eat them all, just don't go over. If you don't eat all of your carbs at one meal, you can take it and treat it as a snack somewhere, but don't stack it onto another meal. That's a bad habit to get into while you're losing weight. If you calculated your carbohydrates to be 1,500 calories, then remember, keep each meal no more than 45 grams of carbs. That snack there, that stays the same throughout all of the 1,200, 1,500, 1,800 calorie plans. And this can be divided into 2 snacks if you want to. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you learned something new today. Please join me next time when we talk about timing of meals and beverages. Please subscribe to my channel, please hit the bell notification button, and please give it a thumbs up so I can keep bringing you videos. Please join me next time, but until then, take good care of yourself. Bye!